by who did the special effects? Okay, shit, I don't know who the fuck did it. Once again, the back does not say shit. Fuck. Anyway, I know the practical effects that did this shit and everything. Did a good job with it. So then what happens is a lot of stuff start happening, and right next to this is weird about this place. Everything's close by. Right next to that warehouse and of course the cemetery, you have a guy who's a mortician, a friend of Bert, named Ernie. I know it's weird, Bert and Ernie. I know, Sesame Street reference. They even talk about it in the commentary, which I'll get to in a minute. And Bert is played by Don Calfa, and he does a very awesome job with this character. I mean, he's there. It's a very uncomfortable scene, but the man's a pro. I guess he's been doing mortician work for a while, and he's like embalming, getting ready to embalm somebody. He has headphones on, he listens to music. He's a bit strange because for some reason he carries an old German P-38 pistol gun and a little holster next to him. I don't know why, but he does it. And Bert shows up there and talks to Ernie and try to ask him a favor if he can use his crematorium to try to burn that body is still alive or whatever. And they try to come up with a bullshit story to try to tell Ernie. And Ernie's like, but I don't know what you guys want me to do. Why now? And then they're trying to explain. So they have a funny scene because they cut the guy in pieces, the cadaver that's still alive, and that body parts are still moving. And the severed hand grabs Ernie's leg, ripping his pants. And now he sees that, he gets creeped out and ends up putting the severed body parts in the crematorium. And what happens is now the fumes go up once again, makes it to the sky, in which it starts raining. But meanwhile, it is a nighttime now. Liana Quigley's character, I can never get her first name right. Quigley's character, Trash, one of the punkers who's hanging out at the cemetery, gets a little wild and starts dancing naked on one of the headstones. Everything like that. So you see some nudity there. It's not bad. You know, this is when she had her surgery. Her titties are in decent shape. And then what happens? It starts raining, so they try to get out of the rain. And of course, that infamous scene when you think of a zombie movie, you always think of this movie, which you see the zombies coming out from underneath the ground and shit, and everybody's bugging out. Then the punk is all scared shitless. They make their way to where Bert and Ernie are at, and Freddy. And there it becomes a siege right there with a lot of funny dialogue, cool special effects. And of course, zombies start running around going, brains, brains, doing like that. And you have a cool scene when they discover what's going on. Tina goes on ahead before that stuff happens at the rain and tries to find Freddy at the warehouse. They're not at the warehouse, they're at the mortician place where Ernie's at or whatever. And she makes her way down to the basement, and you see a very awesome practical effect, which was inspired by the old EC comic books, the Vault of Horror type of stuff. The Tarman zombie. He's all walking. Brains! Brains! Like all walking like this. I don't know if I can do it the right way without fucking it up. That shit outside. Brains! Brains! You know, he goes like that, he grabs you like that. You know. But I like what they talk about in the documentary that's on the DVD, that they wanted the Tar Man to not be just a dumb zombie, that he's a little smart, because the one scene, she hides in the closet from Tar Man, and Tar Man takes this chain with this kind of weird thing and breaks the door open for her to get out, and everything like that. And but the punkers come down there, and one of the lead guy, the punkers, he gets pulled real badly, and Tar Man zombie goes and bites him dead in his head. See, blood squid, practical effect. And then they run for their ass outside, you know. And they team up with Bird and with the guys there, and you have good rapport between all of them. Funny moments, but not too over the top. And it's a fun zombie movie. And the movie's at a good pace. The movie is like 91 minutes. It's not a long film. And the only one down thing about the movie is the ending, but I mean, the movie's done for fun, so it's not really that bad. And seeing this movie again, I've seen this in a long time, and the features on the DVD is a must. They really did a good job with this. There's a document. There's a feature called "Return of the Living Dead." The Dead Have Risen, in which they got interviews with Lou Gallagher, James Cameron, a little tiny interview with Tom Matthews, which is strange. I was surprised they got him for this, but yeah, they couldn't find him for any of the Friday 13th shit. So you got a little tiny interview that's maybe less than a minute long. Cause he seemed like he didn't have much to say anyway. And they got the lead girl, Beverly Randolph. She's there. Obviously, she's there. You have Liana Quigley's there. The guy that played one of the punkers, which I didn't even notice, that the actor who plays Scuzz actually was a nerd. He played a nerd in another movie I grew up with in the 80s called Last American Virgin and stuff like that. And he has a good story. He talks about how his agent actually did not pick. He wanted to get this movie role, and his agent wouldn't want him to do it. He kept on giving him a lot of nerd movie roles. So he went over his agent's head and actually went and auditioned for the part himself, and he got it. So he, he was like the little engine that could. Nobody thought he could do it, and he pulled it off. So that was a good story where he tells it. And it's good. It's a good featurette. But they have Lou Gallagher. Lou Gallagher's a funny motherfucker. I mean, he talks a lot of good things about this movie. He's not ashamed of it. And James Kern as well, talks good things about working with Lou Gallagher. They have Don Calfa there, Ernie himself, and they were talking a lot of good things about the film and about Dan O'Bannon and about how they never was ashamed of this movie. And the cast member and the commentary is actually very good. You have, I think, one of the crew members. I forgot the guy's name. You have Liana Quigley, Beverly Randolph, the guy that played one of the punks, Scuzz. I was just talking about. He's there, and who else? The actor they got, Alan Troutman, the guy who played the Tarman zombie. He's in the commentary. And it's a very funny commentary track. I was listening to it yesterday. Basically, Beverly Randolph is Tina. Basically, because she doesn't curse. She's a bit of a sweetheart. She's like, oh, look at Liana. I see your bum, Liana. Wow, you're a bum. And Liana Quigley was pretty funny. She has a sense of humor about the story, how she got the part and everything. Matt, if you love good commentary tracks for movies and stuff, this is one you should get on your collection. The commentary track is very funny. They even did something weird in which I think it was funny at first, but it wore itself thin. But I think after a while they cut it out. They had two people come in there in the middle of the commentary track acting like zombies. And they were funny for a bit. Until I guess Liana Quigley said something funny to them. When she got kind of pissed, she was like, look guys, get out of here. You see what I just did to that guy in that movie? I'm going to do the same thing to you. Get out of here. It was a funny thing. I mean, it was a bit annoying after 2 minutes, but they split. And then they go on back into the commentaries. A lot of good backstory. There's a funny story that Beverly Randolph talks about Miguel Nunez and everything. And it's a fun commentary. There's even a documentary feature they got in here called The Decade of Darkness. It's basically, they're talking about the 80s horror movies. But the ones within MGM DVD realm, I guess. Because you have interviews there with Tom Holland, Stuart Gordon, because they talk about dolls, and of course Child's Play. Who else they have? The Joe Dante is there. John Landis. Elvira shows up. Yes, I don't mind Elvira. I know some people are like, Elvira is, yeah. I don't mind Elvira. People gonna say, I know because of the titties. But she has a sense of humor, so I never had a problem with Elvira. She shows up there. And they basically talk about the genre of 80s movies, about special effects. Oh yeah, Mike, OCP, Mike. By the way, Mike, they do talk about The Brood. That movie that Mike's always talking things about. They show clips of it, like, wow. This is like a movie I would like to see one day. They mentioned David Cronenberg and everything, and they talk about how movies today, they're like kind of like talking about the decade of the 80s and how they injected humor a little bit with some of the horror, so it could work. So it was a good feature, right? I liked it. That was a very good one. And I don't know. You have an audio commentary here. I think this is from the other DVD they released with Dan O'Bannon and production designer William Strout. And zombie subtitles for the film. I don't know why you would have that. Designing the Dead. I'm guessing that must have been the featurette. I think that was on the other DVD and they threw it back in here. But it's a very good DVD. I enjoy this movie. I can see myself watching this over and over again. Brought back good memories, you know. The only downside about the film is the ending. I don't know if I should give it away if anyone hasn't seen the film, but